The Horn of Africa. It's a region where power, identity, and survival converge in a complex dance. Eritrea and Somalia, once allies against colonial ambition, now find themselves in a quiet rivalry, each seeking influence, security, and recognition. But there's a third player in this story, one that could change everything: Somaliland. Unrecognized by the world, yet indispensable to the region, Somaliland has emerged as a wildcard in this intricate power game, stretching from the Red Sea to the Arabian Gulf. Decades ago, Eritrea fought to break free from Ethiopia, while Somalia aimed to unite its fragmented lands. But today, those lines are blurred. Eritrea stands as an independent stronghold, and Somalia is on a path of rebuilding after years of conflict. Somaliland, meanwhile, has governed itself for over 3 decades, stable, democratic, yet still seeking international recognition. Now, Eritrea, Somalia, and Somaliland find themselves in a new era where ports, alliances, and recognition matter more than borders set on a map. In recent months, everything has shifted. Ethiopia has reignited its quest for Red Sea access, marking Assab as a matter of time. Eritrea, in response, is bolstering its security alliances with Somalia and Egypt, strategic moves to counter Ethiopia's expanding influence. Meanwhile, Somaliland is forging new paths, welcoming U.S. Africa Command officers, signing significant port agreements, and standing firm on its autonomy by rejecting Somalia's new e-visa system. To Mogadishu, these are threats to national sovereignty. To Hargeisa, they symbolize self-reliance. For Eritrea, they offer both opportunity and leverage. Eritrea views itself as the Red Sea's gatekeeper, while Somalia envisions itself as the unifier of Somali lands. And at the center is Somaliland, not just a piece of land, but a test of legitimacy, recognition, and power. As Ethiopia pushes eastward, Egypt and Eritrea align to the west, and Somaliland captures global attention. Somalia faces its most significant geopolitical challenge in decades. The Horn of Africa is no longer about old wars, it's about who controls access, alliances, and the sea's future. In this region, influence is the new currency, and every alliance comes with a cost. Eritrea versus Somalia. The Somaliland Factor, redefining power in the Horn of Africa. To truly understand today's rivalry, we have to look back, decades before the headlines, to a time when Eritrea and Somalia's destinies were shaped by colonial ambitions and shifting alliances. In the late 19th century, the Horn of Africa was carved up by European powers. Eritrea became an Italian colony, while Somalia was divided among the British, Italians, and French. Yet, beneath foreign rule, both peoples shared a sense of resistance and a desire for self-determination. After World War II, the collapse of colonial rule set the stage for new beginnings and new conflicts. Eritrea was federated with Ethiopia in 1952, but this union soon dissolved into a brutal, decades-long struggle for independence. Meanwhile, Somalia achieved independence in 1960, quickly uniting its British and Italian territories into a single nation. During the Cold War, Eritrea's fight for independence drew support from Somalia, which saw itself as a champion of pan-Somali unity and liberation across the region. But alliances were fragile. As Ethiopia grew stronger and global interests shifted, the relationship between Eritrea and Somalia changed. By the early 1990s, both nations had transformed. Eritrea emerged as a new state, while Somalia collapsed into civil war and fragmentation. The solidarity of the past faded, replaced by suspicion, competition, and the relentless pursuit of strategic advantage. Today, the echoes of this history shape every move in the Horn of Africa. Old alliances, new rivalries, and the unfinished business of borders and identity continue to influence Eritrea and Somalia's uneasy relationship, and the fate of Somaliland in between. While the world often frames the Eritrea-Somalia rivalry through the lens of history and power politics, Somaliland has quietly carved out its own path, one defined by pragmatic choices and bold strategies. Despite lacking international recognition, Somaliland has built stable institutions, held regular elections, and maintained relative peace within its borders. This internal stability stands in stark contrast to the turmoil that has gripped southern Somalia for decades. On the political front, Somaliland's leaders have pursued a careful balancing act. They engage with regional powers, including Ethiopia and even Eritrea, without alienating potential supporters or provoking Somalia. Diplomatic missions in Addis Ababa, Nairobi, and even London have helped raise Somaliland's international profile, while negotiations with foreign investors hint at a long-term vision beyond immediate survival. Economically, Somaliland has turned its geographic isolation into an advantage. The port of Berbera, strategically located on the Gulf of Aden, is now a hub for trade and a critical link in global shipping routes. Major foreign investments, most notably from the UAE's DP World, have transformed Berbera into a modern port, attracting business from Ethiopia and beyond. Livestock exports, remittances, and a growing telecommunications sector have further diversified the economy, fueling modest but steady growth. Yet, challenges remain. The lack of formal recognition means limited access to international aid and financial systems. Security threats persist, and the political deadlock with Mogadishu continues to cast a long shadow. Somaliland's gamble is clear. By building credible institutions and a functioning economy, it hopes to make the case for recognition too strong to ignore. But in a region where alliances shift and rivalries run deep, the path forward is anything but certain. As we look to the future, the Horn of Africa stands at a crossroads. The choices made by leaders in Eritrea, Somalia, and Somaliland will shape the region's trajectory for decades to come. Let's explore some potential scenarios and their implications. First, imagine a scenario where regional cooperation takes precedence over rivalry. In this optimistic vision, Eritrea, Somalia, and Somaliland find common ground through economic partnerships and mutual security pacts. Enhanced trade routes, joint infrastructure projects, and collective security initiatives could transform the Horn into a hub of stability and prosperity. The African Union and international community would play crucial roles in facilitating dialogue and offering support. In a second, more cautious scenario, the status quo prevails. Eritrea and Somalia continue their power struggles, while Somaliland remains in a state of limbo, striving for recognition but facing persistent challenges. Incremental progress is made, but the region remains mired in sporadic conflict and economic hardship. International aid continues to be a lifeline, but long-term development remains elusive. A third, more pessimistic scenario envisions escalating tensions and renewed conflict. Political instability in Somalia could spill over into Somaliland, while Eritrea's authoritarian regime might face internal unrest. In this scenario, external powers could exploit divisions, leading to proxy conflicts and humanitarian crises. The region's fragile gains could be undone, plunging the Horn into deeper turmoil. Yet, amidst these uncertainties, there is hope. The resilience of the people in the Horn of Africa is remarkable. Grassroots movements, civil society organizations, and a growing youth population are advocating for change. Technological advancements and entrepreneurial spirit are driving innovation, creating new opportunities for economic growth and social progress. Ultimately, the future of the Horn of Africa will depend on the choices made by its leaders and its people. The path forward is fraught with challenges, but it is also rich with potential. By fostering dialogue, embracing cooperation, and investing in sustainable development, the region can overcome its past and build a brighter future. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the intricate dynamics of the Horn of Africa and the unfolding stories that will shape its destiny.